don't worry. Ask me for a date, I say yes. Hands me his business card with finesse. The card's a URL to a website. He says my number's on that page, see it tonight. Front-end developers like to put on shows. Flash UI, but performance never grows. Give their junk a touch, it explodes. The likelihood of pleasure no one knows. Erectile dysfunction is the true game. Two pumps on the mouse, limp shame. Their sites load longer than they could ever last. I get home with the card clutched in hand. Get on my laptop and on the URL I land. A fancy loading spinner, all just a wait. Made with React, didn't realize my fate. 20 minutes later, it's still spinning. This guy's a front-end dev, got a feeling. The fans on my laptop, they go brrr. Finally the page loads, my heart is stirred. The browser crashes hard, lose it all. Guess he has a small penis after all. Front-end developers like to put on shows. Flash UI, but performance never grows. Give their junk a touch, it explodes. The likelihood of pleasure no one knows. Erectile dysfunction is the true game. Two pumps on the mouse, limp shame. The sites load longer than they could ever last.
Front-end tards think they're code bards. Stupidity they guard, their brain just lard. Performance is too hard, penis thin as a card. All their tools a cope, React, Vite, View, no hope. Abstractions for the dope, good code, nope. Front-end tards think they're code bards. Stupidity they guard, their brain just lard. Performance is too hard, penis thin as a card. All their tools a cope, React, blank, View, no hope. Abstractions for the dope, good code, nope. Nope.
You're stacking React like it's some kind of flex. Hooks and states got you caught in a mess. Python's your savior, oh
Sup,
honey
Owen?
please. Indent that code, still crashing with
see you, ma'am.
ease.
I'm gonna turn down
Oh,
the
you're
music.
lost in the hype, can't you see?
All right, I think I'm ready. What's up, everyone? Good to see you. Hope you're all doing well. I see there's a few of you, all three of my viewers. Welcome in, all of you. I know you all by name. Yeah, all three of you. Welcome to your daily tech news stream, where I keep getting vindicated over and over again because I am Textradamus, and I am always right and you are always wrong. And I will prove it to you yet again. It's almost a daily occurrence now. Almost a daily occurrence where I am right and you are wrong. All of you. Even if you agree with me, you're still wrong. You're just wrong. Because you're not an Omega Giga Chad like me. So I've got news. I have a huge backlog of news. And I need to get through... I'm not sure how many we're going to get through. I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm not going to do a very long stream. Shut up, Owen. Okay? Shut up. All right? No one asked for your opinion, Owen. So everybody on the different platforms, thanks for watching and popping in. I know Twitch ads are going to play. I can't stop that. So I apologize to everyone on Twitch who's about to get hit by ads. I'll try and kill a little bit of time, a few minutes, so that the ads kind of play through so nobody really misses anything. But I'll lay the groundwork for why I am Textradamus and why everyone should have a shrine to the prophet of tech. And I am referring to the person on your screens right now. Because I said that AI will not be what everyone thinks it is. And now I have been vindicated. And this will be the first article we read. Because, of course, anything that proves my biases and, thinking is top priority. It has to be dealt with first, right? So we're going to deal with that first. And then we'll get into a few other very depressing news items about the continuing state of decline with tech security because of the crappy code you all write with your stupid abstractions and your npm installs. Okay, let me pull up the article and I'll switch over. And you guys are about to see. Hang on, I gotta get the right screen up. It would help if I was a streamer. It would help if I knew how to stream. There we go. Okay. So this is the first article. You're all welcome. I was right all along. You can all just deal with it. Just deal with it. DeepMind's 145-page paper on AGI safety may not convince skeptics. So, DeepMind is Google. And what they did was they tried to theorize what would happen if artificial general intelligence became a thing. So they kind of came up with some scenarios for bad consequences of artificial general intelligence. Now, I know what you're all wondering. Spiro, how does this prove that you're right? Well, let's get into it, shall we? Google DeepMind on Wednesday published an exhaustive paper, which I will be reading on a enlightened programming stream. Okay, so this is the paper, and you can go in there, and it's, I believe, if memory serves me right, it's 145 pages. It sure is, yep. Now, granted, there are several tens of pages of just sources, right? References. So in reality, it's more like 107-ish, 108, okay? But still, so it's pretty in-depth. And they tried to tackle the problem of having safe artificial general intelligence, roughly defined as AI that can accomplish any task a human can. AGI is a bit of a controversial subject in the AI field, with naysayers suggesting that it's little more than a pipe dream. Others, including major AI labs like Anthropic, warn that it's around the corner and could result in catastrophic harms if steps aren't taken to implement appropriate safeguards. DeepMind's 145-page document, which was co-authored by DeepMind co-founder Shane Legg, predicts that AGI could arrive by 2030 and that it may result in what the authors call severe harm. The paper doesn't concretely define this, but gives the alarmist example of existential risks that permanently destroy humanity. We anticipate the development of an exceptional AGI before the end of the current decade, the authors wrote. An exceptional AGI is a system that has a capability matching at least 99th percentile of skilled adults on a wide range of non-physical tasks, including metacognitive tasks like learning new skills. Now, this is the first area where I was right. It's a cult. Because just like Jehovah's Witnesses, these guys always claim AGI is just around the corner. But let's continue. Off the bat, the paper contrasts DeepMind's treatment of AGI risk mitigation with Anthropic's and OpenAI's. Anthropic, it says, places less emphasis on robust training, monitoring, and security, while OpenAI is overly bullish on automating a form of AI safety research known as alignment research. Hey, Gare Games on Twitch. Good to see you, man. The paper also casts doubt on the viability of super intelligent AI that can perform jobs better than any human. And there's the key difference. OpenAI recently claimed that it's turning its aim from AGI to superintelligence. Absent significant architectural innovation, the DeepMind authors aren't convinced that superintelligent systems will emerge soon, if ever. Checkmate, atheists. All right? Listen, there is no AI system that will outcompete a human being. So I was right twice in this article. How many of you can say you've been right twice in a news article? I know already. It's zero. None of you. If this is true, and there is no artificial general intelligence that can outcompete a human being, but the intelligence where it competes at the level of the most skilled human is true, then I would say, boys and girls, we have nothing to fear. Nothing at all. Maybe a little bit here and there in a few pockets. But what's going to happen is that AI is going to become an assistive tool in particular areas of life. It will not replace entire swaths of industries to the point where we all find ourselves living on universal basic income. It simply cannot do that. And Google agrees with me, and we all know that if Google says something, it's got to be true because it's on the internet. So I win again. Now, the paper does a lot more. It goes into how we can improve the current AI systems, how we can instill AI systems with guardrails so that they don't act in particular ways that are harmful to human beings. They even did something that I found interesting, which is techniques to block bad actors' access to hypothetical AGI. So you can imagine that somebody wants to have access to an artificial general intelligence system through the back door. Because one, they're a sick pervert. And two, they want to use it for nefarious purposes. So they even considered that, which is kind of smart for them to consider. I hadn't really thought of that myself, but it makes complete sense considering all I do on these daily tech news streams is talk about security issues and how people exploit all kinds of stuff. So yes, of course, this makes total sense. So this was an interesting article, and I was right, and Textradamus strikes again, and I shall continue to keep striking, and it doesn't matter whether it takes years, months, weeks, days, hours, or minutes. I will continually prove to be ahead of my time, and you will all bask in my glory. Now, what's up, C++? Let's move on to the next article. QR codes are hacking you. That's right. Hackers are using QR codes to steal your login info, and it's working. This is really, really simple. All they do is create a phishing website just like any other phishing website. If you don't know what a phishing website is, it's essentially a one-to-one replica or a pretty close replica in terms of copying like a login screen or some other important screen that you might provide personal and identifiable information that somebody can use. So they create a copy that looks very much legitimate on a close to legitimate domain. And then you go in, you log in, and then they have access to all your stuff. Now, what they're doing is these scammers will generate QR codes as part of their email phishing campaign. So, believe that, yeah, right here. So this is an example of something you might see. You've received a document to review and sign. Review now. Please use your smartphone camera to scan the QR code below for quick access to your document for review. And then you scan the QR code and you go to the website, and then they grab all your information. Why a QR code? Here it is again, right? Why do they want to use a QR code? Victims can only see the domain name, so even the sketchiest links look harmless at first glance. That's primarily why, because when you use a QR code, you don't actually get to see the fullness of the URL that you are opening up. Your phone hides a decent portion of it too. For example, on some phones, depending on the screen size, you're not going to see the full URL. You're just going to see like the first few letters, or maybe just like the initial domain, things like this. So it becomes a lot easier. The other thing is that QR codes make it easier to bypass URL detection techniques that prevent emails like this from getting out. So a QR code is going to be dealt with differently by, say, a spam checker or a virus checker or whatever than in a URL embedded into the email itself as like an anchor href link. So it's actually quite ingenious and deceptive. I have begun using it on all of you. It has worked. I have all your information. What's up, Prime on YouTube? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, man. Okay. Next article. Prime, the sound all checks out over here. Everybody's hearing me. So Prime, if you're not hearing me on YouTube, it's probably just you, brother. Let me see what my next article is. Oh, yes. This one. Now, once again, Nostradamus. Okay. AI will cheat to no end. And so will the people who run AI. They don't care about ethical or non-ethical standards. All they care about is that you buy into the AI hype and give them your money. OpenAI accused of training GPT-4o on unlicensed O'Reilly books. And what a shocker. A new paper from the AI Disclosures Project claims OpenAI likely trained its GPT-4o model on paywalled O'Reilly media books without a licensing agreement. What else is new? And if AI systems are already bypassing, circumventing, or not respecting blockers like privacy blocker mechanisms like robots.txt, which is supposed to tell AI systems to not scrape data off of whatever. If they get into it, if they don't care about that, then Why are they going to care about, anything else that most people would care about or would have to follow and respect? They don't care about that. Next article. One sec. Okay, here we go. This one. North Korean fake IT workers up the ante in targeting tech firms. Now, we went over this on a daily tech news stream about, I want to say, a week ago. There was an article I went over, and it highlighted how people are using deepfake AI to literally put a face over themselves, and then they go and submit applications for job listings in tech sectors, particularly in ones that are based around security. And what they'll do is they'll take the interview process, pretend to be a programmer, they'll create a fake LinkedIn profile with AI. During the video interview process, you'll be looking at someone's face, but it's just an AI over the face. So you don't actually see the real person, you just see a fake AI person. And a security company caught on to this, and they were doing this thing where they were asking the person to put their hand over their face like I am right now, because it breaks the AI filter. And this person wouldn't do it, and they figured out, okay, so this is AI. So now North Korean fake IT workers are doing it too. They're trying to scam companies into hiring fake IT workers while adding exfiltration and extortion to their campaign, and they're leveraging deepfake technologies. They're evolving to incorporate theft and extortion. The deception typically features North Korean operatives posing as legitimate IT professionals in attempts to gain employment as Western firms, almost always for positions that offer remote working options. Once hired, these remote workers exploit their insider access to carry out reconnaissance against a firm's infrastructure and steal sensitive information while collecting a salary that is funneled back to the North Korean regime. This is the kind of crap that people who push for AI don't pay attention to. They want you to ignore this, because if nation state actors who are not friendly to us will use AI deepfake technology to harm us, that goes against the narrative of AI hypists who think AI is going to be the end all be all and everyone else will be left behind. No. I'm sorry to break it to you, but there are some serious consequences to these AI systems, and they're going to get used to do extremely nefarious things, and it will only continue. So there are definitely going to be some limitations in the near future that people have to accept come with AI. And I've said it before, and since I'm on a Textradamus roll, I'll say it again. I think we're only a year away before something dramatic and major happens, and we can point the finger at AI, and people will be absolutely shocked, generally speaking, except for my viewers here, because you guys are more intelligent than the most, common folk. Okay, you guys are generally smart. Okay, but I'm the smartest. That's why I'm Textradamus. Something will happen. Nobody will be able to ignore it, and we're going to take a step back and go, oh, maybe we shouldn't be using AI this way. And if this kind of thing continues, all it has to do, this is the kicker, right? All that has to happen is one of these companies has to be infiltrated. Just one. All it takes is one. And once you're in, that's it. The door's open. Next article. This is crazy. Tech Transparency Project. Millions download covert Chinese VPNs. An investigation by the Tech Transparency Project has found that millions of Americans have downloaded VPNs that secretly route their internet traffic through Chinese companies, with several linked to a firm previously sanctioned by the US government for ties to China's military. The report found that 1 in 5 of the top 100 free VPN apps available in the US App Store during 2024 were surreptitiously owned by Chinese entities. This presents a significant privacy risk, as Chinese national security laws compel companies within its jurisdiction to potentially hand over user data to the government upon request. So, my question, okay, would be, how did this happen in the first place? And it starts with this thing called Turbo VPN, ranked 13 most popular in free VPNs. Its listed developer, Innovative Connecting PTE, is registered in Singapore. Singaporean records show its shareholder is Lemon Sea Technology, based in the Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands is like the hot spot for like all unethical things. It's like Vegas, but like a huge, like it's a whole place. Chinese cybersecurity firm Qihu 360 disclosed in a 2019 annual report that it had acquired Lemon Seed and two related companies for $69.4 million and an intangible asset. So that means that we have a China-backed VPN, 13 in terms of popularity, routing traffic through China. And this was extremely smart because they didn't have to ship you any malware. They didn't have to, do anything untoward to the software in question here. Just like we read, I think it was yesterday, where NPM packages were legitimate up to a certain point, and then someone got access to them and injected those legitimate packages with non-legitimate code. It's the same kind of thing here. All that this Chinese company had to do was buy up the VPN company, and all of a sudden, without you knowing any different, your internet traffic is routed through China. So please be careful out there, okay? Especially if you're doing some strange things, okay? If you got like a weird fetish or something, okay, and you're using VPN to hide it, okay, you have no idea how much China knows about you. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say China knows way more about you than you'd care for them to know. And they probably know what a sick, degenerate scumbag you are. Okay, so just be careful, all right? Next article. I did that one yesterday already. Not this one. Not this one either. We covered this one. Okay, here we go. All right. So this one is similar to an article that I covered, I believe last week, where, and I mentioned it, I kind of touched on it already on this stream. AI bots like to go out and scrape the internet, all of it, as much of it as possible. Now, there are supposed to be guardrails in place where on your website, if you have, say, a bunch of private data that you don't want anybody to see or you don't want AI bots to scrape, you upload like a text file or you set particular statuses on your response codes on your website, and it's supposed to tell the AI system, hey, don't scrape this data. It's a private data. Don't do anything here. Unfortunately, AI companies don't care. AI bots don't care. And all they do is spin up large farms of AI bots and just mass scrape the internet. And it's caused a lot of damage in terms of financial and uptime costs for a lot of websites and businesses. And Wikimedia is no exception, apparently. Automated AI bots seeking training data threaten Wikipedia project stability because their bandwidth surged 50%. And there was someone on X that I highlighted on the last stream that I covered this on. They had their bandwidth costs. Well, actually, they had their bandwidth size go from something like 80 gigabytes a month to 800 gigabytes a month just because of the AI bot purge. Then they put their website on Cloudflare. I saw them post this today, I believe. They put their site on Cloudflare and they set up a protection mechanism that Cloudflare has, and then they went back down to 80. There was another website that had to put in proof of work. So what that means is that you have to solve like a cryptographic challenge, like mining for Bitcoin or something. You have to do that in order to get access to the website, and that dramatically reduced their bandwidth load. The problem is that the people who are getting hit by this, it covers a wide range of spectrums, right? So you have people who are making money off of the website that they have, and maybe they're like a large entity and it kind of doesn't really matter too much to them. But then there are people who just do stuff for free or provide valuable services for free, and they have an open website like Wikimedia, and they can't sustain this kind of traffic. It costs too much. Maintenance is a nightmare. They have to pay for all the bandwidth that gets used. This is really bad. And then on top of that, AI crawlers will literally use their own tools, their own internal tools, to bypass guardrail mechanisms. So they'll spoof themselves as much as needed. They'll use valid proxy IPs to bypass security checks, the whole 9 yards. So this is extremely, I'm not entirely sure what the word is, but I find this at the very least to be not cool. Not cool. I don't think this is cool. I think this is a obvious abuse of something that there's a spoken and unspoken contract that you shouldn't abuse. Sometimes for obvious reasons, sometimes not. But again, Textrodamus called it here, AI companies don't care, and AI doesn't care. And AI hypists, cult members of the AI order, will ignore all of these unethical scenarios because they want AI to be out there. That's their primary goal. And so they only focus on the positives and none of the negatives. And this will just continue. What's up, Laughly on Twitch? Good to see you. Glad you fixed your sound, Prime, on YouTube. Hey, Bogan. Good to see you too, man. Residential proxies offer. Yeah. Essentially, yes. Okay, I've got 1 or 2 more articles. Let me just find the right one here. Oh, yes. Okay. Do you remember the stream I did? I was about 5 days ago. It was on Sunday. And I went full on conspiracy theory. Remember that one? I Alex Jones conspiracy theoried everybody. And I essentially laid out my crazy conspiracy theory where nation state actors or just general actors who do not necessarily need to belong to any nation, they just have a group, they just form a group, and they do not like our way of life, they will get together, and it is my personal conspiracy theory that they love to push for things like developer experience, abstractions like React, Rust, Vue, Svelte, Vite, NPM, Rust crates, Rust itself, you name it. What they do is they prey on the fact that we have become a vastly feelings-based society, and it's penetrated into a space where your feelings do not matter. Code does not care about your feelings. Hardware does not care about your feelings. Nobody cares if you had a good developer experience or a bad developer experience. Nobody cares if you felt comfortable or nice and easy when you plumbed together, 6 different packages and you made something work and you have no idea how, because you don't actually know how to actually create anything. All you really know how to do is install this, install that, and plug something into something else. People, nations, groups who want to hurt us love this stuff. And they are willing to play the long game against us. They are willing to support us continuing to push our crappy code in favor of us feeling good about it and getting that sweet VC money. Why? Because then we leave the door open for vast amounts of insecurity, vulnerabilities, and all kinds of exposure that they can capitalize on. And it's working. It's been working for the last 5 to 10 years. However, this is a long game, and I read an article on Sunday about a university professor named Xiaofeng Wang, who works at the Indiana State University and has been for approximately 20 years. He is one of the most cited and highly awarded people in North America when it comes to cybersecurity, privacy, and cryptography in technology. He is a professor, or at least he was. Him and his wife worked there. And then a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, the university silently removed their employment status. And then on Sunday, when we were reading the article, on that day or the day before, the FBI raided their homes. They had 2 homes. Now, can you guess where this person is from if I say the name again? Xiaofeng Wang. Anybody want to take a gander? I'm going to take a sip of coffee because I've been talking a lot. Anybody want to take a gander? Where this person is from? What ethnicity or nationality might Xiaofeng Wang be from? San Fran, yeah. Chai tea, yeah. Canada, Brazil, yeah. Brazil mentioned, yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, how about we get to the follow-up article, shall we? Because I told you I was going to keep an eye on this. So my conspiracy theory is that it entails exactly this kind of scenario where we are infiltrated by people who continue to push things that are a mixture of good for us and bad for us. And they love what we're doing so far in the West. The last 5 to 10 years, as I have proven time and time again on my Enlightened programming streams, going over the data, the actual data, AI is causing terrible harm to us. Crappy code is causing terrible harm to us. Abstractions are causing terrible harm to us. The fact that we cater to the lowest common denominator of programmers is causing terrible harm to us. Companies are losing money. That's why they have to resort to injecting ads everywhere and tracking your data and then selling your data because they don't have they've lost the art of making quality products. So they have to sell you instead. This is exactly what's happening. It is the downfall of the tech industry. And it is my opinion that it is orchestrated by factors and actors outside of North America. Because inside North America, we are filled to the brim with people who prefer to feel things rather than think logically in a purely logically based career. So let me pull up this article. Hang on, let me do this. Let's follow up on what's going on with Xiaofeng Wang. Cybersecurity professor faced China funding inquiry before disappearing. Do I need to say any more? Do I need to say any more? I mean, how... I've been right like 7 times just today. You all should feel privileged to be in the presence of Textradamus, You should feel privileged to be in the presence of Textradamus. You thought listen, I did go off the handles, okay, with the conspiracy stream. I really did. But I also was not. I also truly believe it. I have no proof for my conspiracy theory, but it's what I believe. I really do believe it. And as time goes on, and by time I mean 3 freaking weeks, I'm beginning to be proven more and more right. Shall we continue? Hey, Code Matt, good to see you on the Twitch side. Hey, Navajo, good to see you on the Twitch side. I'm scaring you? You should be scared. Yeah, Tech Alex Jones. Okay. So a lawyer for Xiaofeng Wang and his wife say they're safe after FBI searches of their homes and Wang's sudden dismissal from Indiana University, where he taught for over 20 years. Now, I read these articles beforehand. I take my own time, okay, for free for you guys. I pre-read the articles so that I can make sure that there's good content and whatnot. Now, before I continue reading this, I would just like to go back to where was it? Here, okay? What did we read here? Singapore. Now, here's the problem with Singapore. Singapore is a great base of operations for all kinds of, let's say, untoward actors to do things in hiding without anybody being able to point the finger at the true culprits. For example, China. Sorry, just a little throat there. Hang on, little allergies, I guess. Now, if you've been a viewer of mine for the Daily Tech News stream since the beginning, you may notice a pattern that I have very methodically not called out. And that is, you can go back, you can fact check me on this. Singapore is a base of operations for quite a number of negative news articles that we have read, and they are generally surrounded by particular types of nations who will run companies inside of Singapore so that you can't say that, like, for example, so-and-so did it. Oh, it's just a company in Singapore and nobody cares. All right? So, with that in mind, shall we continue? You guys ready to get... I'm going to be honest here. Are you guys ready to get mind fucked? Because I'm about to fuck your minds. Raw, no lube, okay? It's straight up the urethra. You're about to get fucked. Textradamus is coming in hot, all right? I've got a raging, and I'm coming in. So keep that in mind, and keep my conspiracy stream in mind. What's up, Pierre? Good to see you on Twitch side. Before the official faculty profiles of renowned Indiana University Bloomington data privacy professor Xiaofeng Wang and his wife disappeared, and the FBI raided 2 of the couple's homes last week. The school is said to have been reviewing for months whether the professor received unreported research funding from China, Wired has learned. Indiana University contacted Wang in December to ask about a 2017 to 2018 grant in China that listed Wang as a researcher, according to an unsigned statement that appears to be written by a Purdue University professor and longtime collaborator of Wang, seen by Hired. The statement says that the author believed IU was concerned that Wang allegedly failed to properly disclose the funding to the university and in applications for U.S. federal research grants. The statement has been circulating among cybersecurity and privacy scholars at universities around the world in recent days and was sent to Wired by 3 separate sources. It claims that Wang had explained the funding situation to IU, then was told in February that the school would continue looking into the matter. Alex Tanford, a professor emeritus, if I have pronounced that right, at Indiana University and the IU Bloomington chapter president of the American Association of University Professors, says Wang reached out to him and said that he had been accused of alleged research misconduct. Tanford says he provided Wang guidance as a member of the Faculty Board of Review. IU did not answer Wired's questions regarding any probes into Wang. The charge seemed trivial, that he had failed to properly disclose who was a principal investigator on a grant application and had not fully listed all his co-authors on an article. Tanford tells Wired of the allegations. He says Wang wanted to know if the university had the right to lock him out of his office and computer as he was in the middle of ongoing research. Research papers Wang published between 2017 and 2018 list funding from places like the National Science Foundation, National Institutes of Health, the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, the U.S. Army Research Office, Google, Samsung, according to a Wired review of his publications from the time period. Now, I just want to add to this, we did go over this on the stream on Sunday, but he also has, I wonder if he took it down. Oof, I think he took it, I think it's been taken down. His personal website, I believe, has been taken down. But I have it on that conspiracy stream on Sunday. It's there. You can go look it up. We did go over his personal website where he has all his achievements listed there. Let me tell you something. I just want to instill proper fear. I just want to instill proper fear in you. His awards, accolades, and citations are through the roof. I mean, this guy has been involved in cybersecurity, privacy, and cryptography, and has paved the path for some crazy enhancements in North America in this respect in a huge way. And I mean like a massive way. I mean like he spearheads these kinds of things, okay? And we read that when he was let go, he just disappeared for 2 weeks. His students didn't know where he was. Nobody knew where he was. And then all of a sudden the FBI is raiding his home. Okay, so now we know, right, based on the article, that there was a investigation being conducted on why he did not disclose Chinese funding for a particular research paper. All right, let's continue. Wang regularly collaborated with researchers at the Institute of Information Engineering at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, a government-funded cybersecurity research lab. In papers, Wang and his co-authors disclosed that the IIE scholars received funding from sources such as the National Natural Science Foundation of China, but that Wang was being supported by U.S. grants. It's not uncommon for professors at U.S. institutions to collaborate with researchers in China, and there's no public evidence to suggest that the arrangements were improper. Okay, so far, little sketchy, right? Little sketchy, but maybe not too sketchy, because according to the article, and I guess according to other professors, and I guess using some basic common sense, yes, people from other countries are going to collaborate with each other. There's no reason why China and America, Russia and America, Canada and America, Canada and China, there's like no reason why any of these countries can't collaborate on scientific efforts, and they often do. So, you know, okay, little sketchy, right? Little sketchy. Why would you still have a few questions like why would the FBI raid his home then? Why the abrupt firing? There's got to be something more going on here than just this, right? Let's keep reading. According to the unsigned statement's title and metadata, so they're talking about the research paper that he did not properly identify Chinese funding for, it appears to have been authored by Ninghui Li, a computer science professor at Purdue, who has collaborated on research with Wang since at least 2006. The pair also served together on board of the ACM Special Interest Group on Security, Audit and Control, which aims to develop the information security profession by sponsoring high-quality research conferences and workshops, according to the Association for Computer Machinery's website. Lee did not respond to emailed requests for comment, nor a voicemail left on his office phone. Jason Covert, one of attorneys representing Xiaofeng Wang and his wife Nianli Ma, a library systems analyst whose employee profile was also removed by Indiana University, tells Wired that Wang and Ma are both safe and that neither of them have been arrested. Their legal team is not currently aware of any pending criminal charges against them, and while the couple's attorneys have viewed a search warrant from the Department of Justice, Covert says that they have not received a copy of the affidavit establishing probable cause. So this is also sketchy. Not only do you have a random removal of their access and their employment, you also have an FBI raid. And just like I went over on Sunday's stream about this article in the first place, there was no public court legal documents to trace back to how or why the FBI took the action that they did. Typically, when you're going to go after someone and prosecute them or arrest them or even raid their home, you're going to have some kind of publicly available court documentation that was not available on the day of. And it screamed to me of national security, and honestly, it kind of still does. It kind of honestly still does. Now, Wang is considered among the top researchers in the field of privacy, data security, and biometric privacy, and his sudden disappearance came as a shock to many of his academic peers. Wang joined IU in 2004 and is the lead principal investigator of the Multidisciplinary Center for Distributed Confidential Computing, which he established in 2022 with an almost $3 million grant from the National Science Foundation, according to a since-deleted bio on IU's website. As part of his application for the NSF funding and other U.S. federal research grants, Wang would have been required to disclose other grants he already received or were currently pending review. On March 28, the FBI searched 2 home addresses associated with Wang. The same day, IU also reportedly terminated Wang's job via an email sent by Provost Rahul Srivastav, which Wired obtained and was first reported by the Indiana Daily Student. The email also said it was understood that Wang had recently accepted a position with a university in where? 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 Where was he going to? Huh. Huh. The statement says Wang planned to start at the unnamed Singaporean university on June 1st, 2025, and requested a leave of absence from Indiana University in early March. But IU responded by putting him on administrative leave, removing his IU homepage, and disabling his IU email address. Huh. Where is he going again? Where is this Chinese VPN thing again from? Huh. 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 You know, it's hard being me. Do you think it's easy being right all the time? It's not. I'll tell you why. You get so much hate. People are so jealous of you. It's a hard life. People don't want to hear about the ways they're wrong and you're right. I also have extreme patience, which means I can wait for years for these things to play out because I am Textradamus. I am the prophet of tech. And time again, I shall be proven to be right. And here before you is proof. Your God has spoken. Now, can anyone tell me that I'm crazy for thinking the worst? For thinking the worst of this situation that maybe, just maybe, we have someone who has been planted inside of North American security tech as an academic spearhead for the past 20 years? And all of a sudden the FBI raids his home, and at the same time that he didn't disclose some Chinese funding, and at the same time he took a job at Singapore? So on that note, folks, on that note, you're all welcome. You can all think about what this could mean. I want you to come up with all the different scenarios that this could be bad. Just think about it. And I just want you to remember, okay? Because I think time will also prove this true. If I got this right, maybe, just maybe, just gonna put this out there, maybe all these abstractions and the fact that programmers don't know how to write HTML anymore, but they know how to write React, and the fact that programmers don't know how to create their own wheels, they just pull off the shelf solutions because, like cults, somebody says, I have the solution for you, don't use your brain, just feel good about doing the plumbing and take that paycheck and go home and thumbs up. Maybe, just maybe, all these feelings-based, vibes-based, AI-based things that we're seeing in the tech industry, maybe they're coming from somebody or something or some group of people outside of our sphere. And we're all falling for it. I have spoken again. So I'm going to find Travis on the Twitch side. And I'm going to raid you guys over there because Travis is one of the guys that you do need to look up to if you're going to code like Travis. So we're going to raid him on the Twitch side. My Tech on YouTube. Have you been sniffing some of the sulfur fumes again? Textradamus Oracle. It's the only way to get by through the day anymore. My Tech. That's the only way. That's the only way. So I'm going to set up that raid. Listen, folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for all the views on all the different platforms. I appreciate it. I do have a huge backlog of news, but I thought this one was particularly fun because I am right. I am right. I have been proven right again. And it shall not end. Navajo, thank you for the sub on the Twitch side with the Prime. I appreciate it. So look, I don't just do these kinds of streams. This one I do daily, the daily tech news stream. This is what I do on the daily. I have been working on a video game, which I'm going to go back to, I hope, this weekend. Here, let me show you kind of the stupid thing I've been working on. I'll just quickly show you. So I'm using C, which fits in great with what Travis is doing. He's using C for a 3D game engine, which, by the way, I will be using to do a 3D version of the exact same game. But I'm literally just building out some user interface stuff on here, and so I use C, and then I compile to WebAssembly, and then from there, I guess I'm not going to be showing you because it would. I can't even remember how to turn the stupid thing off. But anyways, I compile it to WebAssembly, and then I use vanilla HTML and CSS and JavaScript and vanilla developments and no hardware acceleration, no canvas, no web GPU, no WebGL, nothing like that. Just developments, just to prove that a high school dropout like me can pull something like that off. Because I do think that we are genuinely in a state of massive decline in the tech industry. And if I can pull something like that off without having to lean on abstractions and frameworks and all the stupid crap that we rely on, I don't use AI, I don't use autocomplete, I don't even use IntelliSense, I don't use LSP, I barely have color schemes on my IDE. I think I just have like a black and white or something. It's pretty bare. Let me just see here. Yeah, like whatever. Anyways, you can see past streams. So I'm going to get back to that. That's normally what I do. And I'll get back to that. And then I have the Enlightened Programming streams, which I have been slicing up into shorter videos, 1 article per video. And if you go on my YouTube and you go to the videos tab, you can see I've titled them all with Enlightened Programming. There's all kinds of scientific data and studies and articles, and there's more coming. And hopefully what that does is, between the game, the way that I'm doing the game, the data, and the daily tech news, I hope that all of you who are watching right now are empowered to make much better decisions and go out and tackle problems with your colleagues and managers and executives and even just your own selves. And just, we need to be doing better. So that's my encouragement to you. I'll leave that on a positive note. If you want me to keep doing this, if you want me to fight AI cultists online like I did yesterday and showed that off, and argue with people like big streamers about their stupidity, and continue doing these streams, do the like, do the subscribe, do the follow, help me out with the algorithm, even though I hate playing the algorithms. I think they're cancerous to society. But in order to expand my reach and spread the message farther and hopefully help you guys make a change in the industry, I need your help to do it. So again, I really appreciate the sub Navajo on Prime, on Twitch. It's not always about the money. It's more about the algorithm. If you want to give me money, that's great. I appreciate it. I would rather even take work rather than money out of your hands. Just throw work my way. I'll roll up my sleeves and actually do work and earn it. But aside from that, I really appreciate all of you being here. Yeah, Gear Games, it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. Sorry. Yes, I use logic. I try and use logic. Yeah, tech industry is just as bad as journalism. Time to apply for a grant. Yeah. Okay, you guys are awesome. Thank you. With that whole spiel, I am out of here. Shut up, Vamp on YouTube. I don't want to listen to anything you have to say. Yeah, everyone on all the different platforms, thank you for watching me. I appreciate it. I'm out of here. Let me do a quick Twitch raid. Hang on. We got to raid Travis. So listen, folks, if you don't know who Travis is, Travis Vroman, you can find him on Twitch and on YouTube. Vroman is his last name. And let me just make sure I type that in correctly. There we go. And he's building a 3D engine with Vulkan and C. And if you want to know, if you want to look up to someone in terms of what kind of a programmer you should be, Travis is one of the good ones. You should absolutely be following him. He's a solid guy. He's consistent. He does really great stuff. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to raid out the Twitch side. Say hi to Travis for me, everybody on the Twitch side. I'll have to raid and run, but definitely say hi to him and make sure you give him lots of support. He's an awesome guy. So I'm going to do that right now. Thank you, Twitch. Bye, Twitch. And then I'll end the stream for everyone else. Let's make sure that went through. There we go. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Peace out. You guys are awesome. I will see you tomorrow for more daily tech news from Textradamus. Peace.